Namo Gurudev Namo, Om Namo Gurudev Namo, Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Today I want to talk with you about the transit of Saturn into Capricorn on January 24th of 2020, where he will remain for the next 3 years. Now Saturn in Capricorn is quite strong, and in fact he's strong for the next 6 years as he transits both of his natal signs, the first being Capricorn and the second being Aquarius. But for the purpose of today's video, I want to focus on his transit of 2020, look at the key conjunctions in Capricorn with Saturn in 2020, and look at how we can better collaborate with him and maximize the opportunities that is opening for us all. And then at the end of the video, you can check by your ascendant, sun, and moon to see what general influences will be awakened for you so that you can navigate 2020 better. Now, when Saturn comes knocking at the door, none of us run to open it, right? So he's this lord of karma. He's this planet of efforts and hard work. It's this planet of debt and service and endurance and commitment. It's the awakening of fears. It's the payment of taxes, right? And none of us run to have this experience, right, and embrace it, right? We all would rather avoid it to just feel inspired and indulge and escape, right? But Saturn's lessons are necessary for us to evolve, right? So if we look at how we perceive Saturn and then how we're relating to Saturn, we can actually change our relationship to him and then help to navigate and affect the changes that he brings, right? Without Saturn, we just don't manifest, right? So we can think about Saturn being our roots and Jupiter being our fruits, right? So Saturn's building these long-term foundations of which then Jupiter can actually pull resource from to bear sweet fruit, right? So to bear this reward that we all want to receive, right? So we need Saturn to manifest, right? If we think about how athletes train, like athletes train with this long-term goal in mind, right? So they're working every single day on their practice. They're working every single day on their endurance. They're working every single day to overcome their perceived limitations, to overcome the fears that get awakened. They're overcoming their challenges. They're working to develop their endurance, their strength. They're creating a life of excellence, right? So they're working on creating their platform that they can then spring from to grab the reward. So they're working on a long-term success, right? Not this one-trick pony in and out. It's about this long-term success, right? That actually creates character and builds our life fuller, right? So Saturn is very enriching for us, even though we can feel him or his reputation can be one of restricting. He's actually building our life for us by developing our character and by building sustainability, right? Which is something that we all want, right? We don't want to live in a house that doesn't have a firm foundation, right? He wants us to create a conscious living by design. This is really ultimately the higher energy that Saturn brings in for us, right? And this is what he's delivering to us in 2020. Not only is Saturn strong, but Jupiter strong. So they're both working together, but we shouldn't favor one over the other. This is key, right? We just want to change our relationship and our perception of the planets and see how we can better collaborate with them. When Saturn moves into a sign or a house, it's like an elephant moving into a room, right? So we just have to accept that some things are going to get leveled and some things are going to get smashed. But this is a necessary evolution in our development where we have to really let go of things that we've either ignored or we've neglected or where we've outgrown. But with Saturn clearing this way, he's actually opening our arms to receive more. So it's nothing that we should really fear, but we should really see it as an opportunity of Saturn really freeing us from the burden of things that just no longer help us or that we're not really truly interested or taking care of, right? And the area in which he moves into your chart this year is the area that he's going to want you to work, right? So it's where he's going to want you to put your most focus, your most energy, and create change and to create more organization, to create more structure, to face your fears, to go beyond your perceived limitations, right? This is the area he's going to want you to become like an athlete in. And with Jupiter being strong and Saturn both being strong and good dignity, there's a great chance for all of us to make significant change in 2020. Now, Saturn in Capricorn, Capricorn being the female sign of Saturn, is really looking at our grace and our commitment. It's looking at our ethics, right? It's looking at our resources and how we're using them and how we're relating to them. It's in an axis to the sign of Cancer, so it's wanting to make sure that even though we're very much in this very heady space of like focused determination, that we're still connecting with our heart, right? Our highest intelligence, not our emotional heart, but our intelligent heart, right? Now, the nakshatra that Saturn is operating under until January of 2021 is Uttarashada Nakshatra. Now, Uttarashada Nakshatra is all about the maintenance of success. It's all about being victorious, but it really wants it to be a steady, long-lasting, maintained success that's shared with others, about pooling our resources, right? About creating alliances. So even though we're in this very like mental space and like determined space, we're not feeling separate. We're actually working to create bigger community, to connect with others, to share our resources. Really, 2020 is a revolutionary year. It's really kind of like the 60s all over again, right? Where we're making cultural changes, where we're taking collective consciousness changes. And this Uttarashada with Saturn operating is really shining for us because it wants us to be strong. It wants us to be tough. Again, it's like this elephant, so an elephant, when it enters into a jungle, all the animals take notice. They all recognize its power and its strength, right? And that it's immovable, right? But what an elephant is doing is helping to lead the way, to clear the path, taking what it wants, but sharing with its resources, right? Standing and with its community. This is what Uttarashada is adding to this Saturn energy of 2020. There's 4 key conjunctions that are impacting Saturn in 2020, and I'll make a separate video for this detailing out the effects and implications by ascendant sun and moon. But I want to give you the dates now so that you can mark them down so that you can plan for what can get awakened and how you can better navigate these waters. Now, Mars, the planet of war, will be joining Saturn on March 22nd until May 5th. Now, Mars is what's known as exalted in the sign of Capricorn. He's quite powerful and he's quite strong, but Saturn and Mars are not the best of friends, so we're going to need to look at this a little bit more in detail in a separate video. And then we've got Jupiter. He will be joining from March 30th until June 30th. Now, this is significant because when these 2 teaching planets come together, they awaken very key houses in our chart. And with this overlap of Mars, we're going to want to take a look at this a little bit more deeply, so do look out for this video. Then we have the retrograde of Saturn, and this is happening from May 11th until May 29th. Now, retrograde planets are a regular occurrence, but they do create some disturbance in the energies. But really what they're doing is they're coming closer to the Earth and kind of just getting into our face. So it's nothing really to fear, but it's really going to be about a course correction. And then lastly, we have this grand conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn when they really truly merge at the end of the year. And again, I'll make a video about this, detailing it out. Overall, 2020 is a magnificent year. It's a revolutionary year. We're changing our consciousness. We're changing our success rate. Both Jupiter and Saturn are working together to change the arc line of our destiny, not only on a personal level, but in a collective level. It's a great year for us. Now let's take a look by your ascendant, sun, and moon, detailing out what will occur by each sign. Aries. Now, Aries, your ruler Mars is quite strong, and Saturn will be transiting your 10th house. So he's going to work this year to restructure and refocus your career. He's bringing you a lot of advancement in the signs of like accolades and receiving a lot of opportunities with your career. You'll be raised in a higher level with how you're being seen in the world. Now, since your ruler, Mars, is quite strong through the beginning of March, just take it easy. Don't make any big, bold moves because this part you're a little bit overconfident and you don't want to overstep and then have to pay a hefty price. Taurus. Now, Saturn is your friend and he's in good dignity and he's transiting your 9th house. So he left your 8th house, so you'll be feeling much better. You'll have a less tension, a less focus on fear, a less focus of the unknown, and feeling a lot of worry. This year you'll be feeling more expansive. It will put you into a state of wanting to apply yourself and to learn something new, making it a great time to take on a new project or a new skill. It's a good year for you to be patient and tolerant of your father figures and teachers. It's a really great year for you to travel, Taurus. Now for Gemini. Gemini, Saturn is a little tough transit for you, as he's going to transit your 8th house, and this is going to bring things that you just can't plan for. There's a need for you to take care of your health this year, so a great time to use this difficult energy is to focus on research and the inquiry of things, like look into something that's deeper. It can actually reveal some answers that to problems that have been plaguing you for quite a while. When we do our shadow work and we do the study of esoteric subjects is actually when we can excel when Saturn is transiting our 8th house. It brings us into a deeper self-understanding, right? And since your ruler Mercury is always moving so fast, really you want to just anchor yourself into something that's deeper. So the suggestion is really to apply yourself to a better self-understanding and esoteric subjects. Now for Cancer. Cancer, Saturn's going to be transiting your 7th house, and from your 7th house, he's going to be looking to your 1st house. So he's going to put a lot of pressure on your relationships, how you're relating with people, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on yourself for development. It will push you for changes, and it will push for changes, especially with work. There's going to be a great need for maturity in relationships and for commitments this year, and there can be a separation from business partners and or spouses if responsibilities are not really owned up to, right? So it's important this year to look to where your strengths are. The best planet for you this year is Mars, as he's in good dignity, but you will have to work hard this year. So this is for you, Cancer. Just put your boots on and get to work. Now, Leo. 2020 is really wanting you to find your rhythm as Saturn's transiting your 6th house of works, efforts, debts, and illness. It's a powerful year for you, but Saturn really being in your 6th house can really awaken these energies of competitors, of having challenging relation with bosses. Saturn does really great in the 6th house, but he also attracts a lot of attention of negative energies there. So it's good to just focus on your lane, focus on your duties, just do your work, don't get into trouble. Watch out for overeating this year because you can also have a tendency to overindulge this year. Don't invest and make any big purchases, even though it's a good year for you for money. Now Virgo, Saturn will be transiting your 5th house, and it's going to want you to really think about what it is that you really love, really creating a connection to what you really love, to get really serious about what your dreams are and what you really want to create as your long-lasting imprint on this earth. It's wanting you to build a strong, organized foundation that will help you to be more constructive in the long run. So it's a nice transit for you, but it wants you to really start to get connected with your heart and with your true aspirations. Now Libra, Saturn is going to be transiting your 4th house, so he's going to start to create some challenges in your home life. Saturn is your friend, as you know, Saturn and Venus are good friends to each other, and Saturn will help you to open some doors, but it's making you really look at your home life, what's really of value in your home life, if you're really happy with your home life. You know, money can come to you this year from unusual places as Saturn is looking to your 1st house. It can also mean travel. Friends are comforting this year and you have good relationships, but really you're looking at how and where you feel nourished. Now Scorpio. Scorpio, it's a good start for you this year as Mars is strong, but be careful not to be overconfident. It's good to take time and learn new skills about patience and dedication, not being reactive and actually snapping at people. Keep your body moving and keep your words clear and truthful. You'll have a lot of support with money and connections. It's very much improved this year, but it's really a year of focusing on your savings with Jupiter in your 2nd house. Now Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you had a hard year last year with Saturn going over your sign, especially if your moon was there. Now, Saturn leaving your first house and moving into your second house is going to put a big focus into your finances and your security and what you're overall responsible for. It's going to make you think about what you're bringing into your life and what is of true value to you. Remember to love and appreciate your family. This is the best thing when you are feeling this pressure of what is value and what you're feeling pressure with money. It's always to just really connect with things that you love and find real gratitude in it. And then it changes the energy of Saturn and how it's operating for you. Now, Capricorn. Capricorn, you're the one who's been set on fire this year with it being super active with Saturn in your first house and Jupiter in your 12th house for the next 9 months. It can bring in expenses, so do take care. Now, Saturn's transit into Capricorn is very powerful and it brings a lot of opportunity for spiritual growth and maturity, but take an honest inventory of your life and get to work on those areas where you're unsatisfied. It's a good time to set a new health regime to get really refocused on taking care of yourself because you're put under pressure, but Saturn's also in high dignity. He's giving a lot of energy to make the changes. Now, Aquarius. Aquarius, Saturn's transiting your 12th house, and this will make you travel a lot, but it will also increase your expenses, especially in March. It's a good time to do something charitable. Saturn will give you good financial growth, and it will bring savings. Don't invest in big projects this year. Really use this time to tap into your intuition and work on healing your subconscious and thoughts and your resentment and your self-sabotaging tendencies. Spiritual and charitable work is supported this year. Now the last sign of Pisces. Pisces, you're the superstar of this. You're the last sign, but you're the superstar of this sign. Because Saturn's transiting your 11th house, and the 11th house is very good for you. It's really great for getting things sorted out, to make changes in your lifestyles. It's a great time for having satisfaction with your job and achieving your goals, and family issues are smoothed out and get resolved. Influential people can also come into your life, and you will get an elevation and success in your career due to your hard work and ethics. Be wise, be mature, be dependable, help your friends out, and share your abundance with others because plenty of other people are suffering, and now you're really shining, so share your luck. Thank you so much for watching my video and listening to my audio, and I wish you the best of luck with Saturn's transit, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Sat Nam.